I guess since you went to Magic, I'll return once more to the land of Yu-Gi-Oh! Something I forgot to mention in the last podcast we did in regards to number go up. So the format was getting better when we spoke, and then it's definitely getting a lot better now. Konami is actually talking with the players.
What?
Yeah, weird. It's like they must be high or something. I don't know. The product releases have been looking pretty good. They've actually the new Megatin. The Megatin is like the most open product of the year. It's got like a bunch of reprints in it, some new cards, some really cool promos. But this year, instead of doing like a character on the face of the tin, they have gold sarcophagus, like an actual. Well, I mean not an actual one, but like a mock-up, a mock-up of gold sarcophagus as the tin itself.
That's pretty cool.
And there's gonna be like 3 world premiere cards that are designed to be meta shaking. Where the jury's still out on that one because the last time they said that we got a 5-star fusion monster zombie tuner that did nothing. It was supposed to be the most impactful card of 2018,
and it did nothing.
Yeah, it did nothing.
Is it even played? Is there a specific deck built around it, or no? It's just trash. It's just trash. It's just trash.
No, it's literally a vanilla fusion tuner monster.
Cool.
I mean, you can summon it off of instant fusion, but why would you?
Because it's 5-star, man. 5 stars.
What would you do?
That's
with
the best star. That's one of those cards where it was too like cool to be a 4-star, but not cool enough to be a 6-star.
Card wasn't.
Is there any good 5-stars besides Cyber Dragon?
One of the Monarchs is a 5-star actually. All the artifacts are 5-star, I believe. You don't know them, but so
yeah.
Well, okay, I guess I could talk about that. So the Monarchs, most of them are 6 stars, but I believe there's one of them that's actually 5 stars. I forget. I think it's like Ryza or something. All the Monarchs have like pretty generic, but just really good effects even today. So like if you tribute some of them, you get like, let's say Caius. Target one monster on the field, banish it, and then if it was dark, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. That's very simple by today's standards, and it's not even once per turn. But it's the amount of utility, especially back then, that had, even today, is just amazing. Because you can target himself, and he's dark. He can banish himself and inflict 1,000 to your opponent. Game, maybe. But
yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay, you got Ryza, target monster on the field, put it back on top of the deck, I believe. Some decks, that's actually rather, you just like lose the game sometimes. Draw the same monster that probably wasn't good enough to be on the field anyway.
So did they kind of fix link monsters in? Because the last time we talked, link monsters were able to invade the other opponent's field.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they still kind of can, but it's not that bad. They've printed a card that actually is designed to break the extra link. I mean, if your opponent summons, I don't think I explained the card to you, but that card that says you can only summon link monsters to your field, you can't summon it. But you can summon this card mid-combo. Like your opponent's trying to combo off, you stop them mid-combo, and then you shuffle all the link monsters back in the deck.
Pretty dope. I can get behind that.
I kind of wish we had that last year, but, better late than never.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing now, so, it's good, that's good.
Most people aren't extra linking nowadays anyway. It's kind of staying to their strategies. Let's see. Last time we talked, another card called Outer Entity, as I thought, was on the rise. It's a Xyz monster, actually. Rank 4. Rank 5, actually. But you can summon it using another Xyz monster.
Now, what does break?
What do you mean?
What does the mechanic mean? You said break 5.
Oh, rank.
Rank. Oh,
Yes.
I thought you said break.
So
Rank.
Xyz monsters don't have levels; they have rank. It's if you look at an Xyz monster, the stars are in the opposite direction
Oh, okay.
from like levels. I guess it's to make them different. I don't know.
They're fancy.
It's actually there's some cool interactions you get from it. So like you've probably heard of this card actually. Level limit area B. All level 4 or higher monsters are changed to defense condition.
Yep, that's an older one. I know that one.
Well, because Xyz monsters don't have rank, they're not affected. Well, they don't have levels, they're not affected.
That's pretty cool. Good way to find use in old cards.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that on this podcast actually. I'm gonna talk about all the flavor of each summoning mechanic. But before I do that, let me finish talking about the recent things in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me see here.
Hit me with that fat knowledge.
Yeah. The format is, it's always been pretty diverse, but I think people are finally happy with, like, the top decks, somewhat. That Azathoth card I talked about earlier is banned. The reason why it got, not that card isn't banned, but what you use to summon that is banned. What that card essentially did is, the turn you summon it, your opponent cannot activate any monster effects for the rest of the turn. And also you can't respond to that effect either. So, what they do is, they'd summon a rank 4 Xyz monster, as that is rank 5, pretty sure. And then, they'd have a quick play spell card that would change that rank 4, will allow you to go 1 rank higher. So, on your opponent's turn, before they do anything, no monster effects. And the game is pretty monster heavy nowadays.
Yeah.
So, alright, your turn. Go ahead.
Do something. I dare you. Oh, wait, you can't.
Azathoth can still be summoned, but I don't think there's any deck nowadays that can summon him on your opponent's turn. So that's pretty good. Let's see. They kind of hit Sky Striker a bit. The deck that's been meta for like 6 months. But like, it wasn't that big of a problem anyway. And it's still playable. It's just a lot easier to defeat.
Yeah.
They hit like 1 monster. That's about it. It's a pretty crucial monster, but...
Did they ban it, or did they just limit it?
Limit it. The monster they hit, so... Sky Strikers is a very weird deck compared to like what, especially the direction Yu-Gi-Oh's been going. It's a very spell heavy deck. In fact, I think you play like 1 trap card maybe, if at all. All the spell cards have some pretty generic but useful effects, but in order to activate them, you have to have no monsters in the main monster zones. And then they also get bonus effects if you have like 3 or more spells engraved. So, you summon, like, your only main deck monster, and then summon a link monster into your extra monster zone. Usually, you would go for something called Sky Striker Ace Kagari, the thing they got limited. Because what that card does, when it's summoned, it takes a spell card, a Sky Striker spell card from your grave, adds it to your hand. Lets you reuse something, because a lot of these also don't have once per turns.
Yeah.
Pretty insane.
You remember when, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was so basic that they considered Angel of Charity too powerful for the game and limited it? Maybe even banned it at one point? There was draw 3, discard 2.
Oh, Graceful Charity.
Graceful Charity, that's it, yeah.
That card is still banned.
Is it? Really?
Yeah. Yes,
it's not
actually.
all that great. Like, I mean, we're same with Pot of Greed. I know Pot of Greed was banned for a while. I don't know if it's back or if it's limited or what. Draw 2 cards. Way too powerful.
It is.
Well, I mean, I guess
really
like, Yu-Gi-Oh!
is.
Doesn't rely on,
hold
draw power
so,
as
like,
much as Magic.
Wait. So, check this out. Caveman Yu-Gi-Oh! Or the format you're describing, unlike... Okay, everyone today complains about, everyone just playing the same deck. And, if you're playing Sky Striker, this is how you play it. If you're playing Thunder Dragons, this is how you play it. But back in those days, every deck played these same 20 cards. Because why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess it's true. Yeah.
If Pot of Greed was limited today, everybody would play it. There's not a person in this world that would not play that card. Because why wouldn't you? It's a free 2 cards.
Oh, I mean, that's a free 1 card.
It's a free. I mean, it gives you a 38 card deck.
That's true. That's true.
In fact, Upstart Goblin is currently limited. It's a card that says your opponent gains 1,000 life points, then you draw a card.
Limited. I think I remember that one too.
Limited, because it's that powerful.
So drawing is just ridiculous in Magic then. So like anytime, or I'm sorry, Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. So anytime it's like draw cards, like fuck no, we can't have that shit in our game.
Yo, this is how amazing draw power is in Yu-Gi-Oh. There's a card called Pot of Desires. I think I've talked to you about this card before. The card says, banish the top 10 cards of your deck face down. Draw 2 cards. It was very polarizing when it came out. Everyone said, oh, it's either you read on the, oh, it's a terrible card, or it's the broken. And then they interviewed like some of the players that were playing it in their decks, because it's obviously a good card. Like, oh, why are you playing this card? It says draw 2 cards on it. It's the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh!
I mean, I can just imagine, like, because like, there's cards like Divinity or Divination in Magic that's like 3 mana, draw 2 cards. There's no drawback whatsoever. Or then there's like that card that I used on you today, Curious Obsession. It's a 1-drop. If the creature this is attached to deals combat damage, draw a card.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much replacement in Magic. Like in regards to your hand, there's so much hand replacement.
Most draw cards in general usually have to have some kind of like big drawback, and even that's not enough. It's not enough.
So I lose 10 cards, but I get 2. Hell yeah!
There's like some complex math and stuff that goes behind it too, to where this actually really is a good card.
But I mean, I guess when in a game where there's no resources,
yes,
I can see why drawing would be a little bit powerful.
But that and the fact that most decks have some sort of searching anyway. Yeah. So you're searching and drawing.
Yeah, that's true.
No. Not healthy.
Seems great for the meta.
Alright. Oh. Let's see. Oh, I guess I kind of wrapped up Sky Strikers. It's a weird deck. You usually only play like 1 monster at a time. Kagari got limited. Just kind of, brush through kneecaps a bit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not gonna kick him yet, but you stay over there.
Just give him the micro boot.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of like a midget coming up and kicking you in the nuts with his fist.
Can he? Oh, okay. I was about to say, can he reach?
with his fist.
Extendo leg. Activate.
With his human legs.
Turns out I was training under Dulcine.
Yoga Fire. Damn it! Not again. I love Dulcine. He's so cool. Hashtag best Street Fighter character. You don't agree with this?
I mean, in terms of like morals, sure,
but he breathes fire, and he's like Stretch Armstrong. He's like Stretch Armstrong, who's Indian. They can breathe fire.
I don't know.
He doesn't even need a stove to cook Indian tacos. Him and El Fuerte are probably best friends. Biffles.
I'm not going to upset this man today.
What? Do they not like each other?
I'm not. We're gonna go back to
No,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
no.
Maybe when you're older.
Do they not like each other? Are they enemies? What? Now I have to know.
So in Yu-Gi-Oh,
just quit doing this to me.
I mean, they don't hate each other,
but they're not friends.
But Dulcine does not think too highly of El Fuerte.
Why? Oh, he's not even a bad guy. He does just cook things.
He's a buffoon.
He's not a buffoon. He's a connoisseur of fine delicacies.
That's also a buffoon.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, Yu-Gi-Oh.
All right.
Format is shaping up pretty well. There's so many people attending that they've got to kick people out.
What?
Yeah. They've also, in fact, I think the worst of it was when they actually decided, there's too many people to kick out. We're just going to hold a second well, it's called the YCS in Yu-Gi-Oh! The Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series. We've got YCS Dusseldorf. We're going to have YCS Dusseldorf 2 for you guys.
I mean, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, at least they're giving more people the option to get in competitively.
Yeah. It's been insane. There's like so many people getting turned away because it's just too many.
Yeah.
Even with the new time rules.
I mean, on that note, I guess I forgot to mention it earlier. There was he's been on the Magic Pro Tour for, jeez, I have no idea how long. I mean, he's
the band player.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Give me 1 second while I look up his name so I don't butcher it. So, I mean, the one thing that I will say that I like that Magic does is if there's anybody that's banned anywhere, they have a list of their DCI numbers. So you can literally just scroll down and find out all the banned people.
Oh. They have a player ban list for Yu-Gi-Oh! Too, but it doesn't have I don't think they have their number on it.
Alright, so the headline was MTG bans Yua Watanabe from the MPL, removes him from the Hall of Fame, and suspends his DCI for 30 months.
Huh.
So basically what happened is at the last Mythic Championship, which is it's a high dollar event, high reward event, but it's nothing compared to what he's earned in lifetime winnings. I think it's like a $25,000 prize. This is a modern tournament. He was playing I can't remember if it was Blue Tron or some sort of Tron variation.
What is Tron?
Tron, you essentially use the Urza block lands to generate a crap ton of mana and just go off somehow. So he was playing and he wasn't doing all that great from what I gather, and he blamed it on a superstition with his sleeves. So mid tournament, it was in between rounds, I believe. He went and changed the sleeves on his deck. During a deck check before the new round started, they saw some imperfections in some of the sleeves, and they all turned out to be on the Tron lands. And they weren't the same marking. So there's three lands that you use for the Urza lands, and by themselves they don't do a whole lot. But when you get all three of them on the battlefield, they tap for I think one of them taps for 3, and the other two tap for 2, or one of them taps for 4, the other two tap for 3, and it just generates a ridiculous amount of mana. So they're Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant, and Urza's Tower.
All right.
So the Urza's Mines he had a fingerprint or a thumbnail indentation on them. The mines had the corners bent in a little bit, and then the towers had a bigger crease on them. So he essentially tried to blame it. He was like, "Oh, well, that must have just happened while I was sleeving it. I sleeved it really quick."
Yeah.
But it was on the Tron lands and nothing else.
Yeah.
And so at first they just said, "All right, we're gonna remove him from the tournament." But after a bunch of outcry from other pro players, they ended up doing a full head judge investigation through the DCI, and they essentially wrecked his Magic career because he was in the Hall of Fame for Magic. I mean, he's played for a long time. I think since 2001 or something like that. He's been on the Pro Tour, and they replaced it. They replaced him with. Or they haven't replaced him yet on the MPL, but I think they said that announcement's coming shortly. But there was this comes immediately after another Magic player was banned for inappropriate comments and all kinds of sexual harassment. That's Owen Turtenwald, I think is his name. He's been on he was in the Hall of Fame as well. He's a big time streamer who he lives in like a streaming house with a bunch of other Magic players, but he was banned from the MPL, and I think he received like a 6-month DCI suspension. And they replaced him with Autumn Burchett, who a lot of people think is like a political thing because Autumn Burchett is I don't even know what I don't know what the term is. I guess I don't want to like offend anybody, but she doesn't go, they do not go by a specific gender. So they don't identify as male or female.
Oh, non-binary?
Non-binary. There you go. That's it. So they replaced him with Autumn Burchett, and they won the Mythic. See, I'm so bad at pronouns. They won the
hate speech.
Yeah,
suing you.
They won the Mythic Championship. That was, I believe, like 6 months ago, with a mono blue almost the exact same mono blue deck I played against you with, just with a couple variations. And I mean, they are not very well known on the pro scene. It was kind of their first dabble into the pro scene.
Just everyone going like, literally who?
Yeah. So and they were like, all right, well, Autumn Burchett, this is the new replacement. And everybody's like, literally who? But they've won one tournament, and there's people who have won hundreds of tournaments and aren't on the MPL. The MPL, there's only 30 spots.
How do you what?
Yeah, so that's why a lot of people are like, because of the reasons why Owen Turtenwald got killed. They didn't murder him. The reason why he got the can was because of sexual harassment and all this, improper treatment of individuals and stuff like that. So they replaced him with a non-binary individual who really doesn't have the credentials needed to play on the MPL.
They just saw them on the street, hey,
well,
no, on the MPL
with the Mythic Championship, I guess they won one major event, but that was only one portion of the event too. I don't even think they placed in the draft format or in the modern format. I think they pretty much just won the standard format. So, I mean, after winning one event, that seems like a little bit of a stretch to automatic, because there's so many people who are deserving of it.
Seems like a lot of a stretch. If you ask me, I don't even know what this is. But.
I mean, out of what they claim to be millions of Magic players,
we print 12,000 cases.
We print 12,000 cases, but they choose someone who's won one major event when there's. I mean, I feel like there were so many more people that deserved the spot personally, and hopefully they get a chance with the spot opening up from UA, because I think the 30-month ban or whatever is too lax. There's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, that's way too harsh. You're kicking him out of everything and all this other stuff." And I'm like, I don't think that's harsh enough. I feel like if you cheat, you should just be X'd. If you cheat during a pro or a Magic event, a Magic tourney, even if it's a local game store, I think you should just be cut. I don't think there's no excuse for trying to, especially that obviously. I mean, I feel like if the judge wouldn't have caught that, somebody would have been like, "What the hell is wrong with your sleeves?" So, all right. But a lot of changes to the MPL as well. So the MPL was supposed to be a thing where they play against each other all the time, and they still haven't played against each other yet. So it's all just been they're getting pro points from playing in tournaments. And that's kind of how they're getting their points right now. There's supposed to be a championship and everything between just the MPL members. I don't think anything's been said about that since Wizards announced it 2 years ago or a year ago or whatever it was.
All right. Something controversial that came out. Well, in between time, So, there's certain cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That require you to know what your opponent has. So, like, very good card, Mind Crush. You declare a card name. If your opponent has that in their hand, they discard it. If they don't have it in their hand, you discard it. You usually use it after like someone searches something because they have to reveal it then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you call the card. But how it was being played, because you have to verify what your opponent has in their hand. So you activate Mind Crush, as well as being able to rip a card out of your opponent's hand. You also get to see their hand, which is it's pretty cool actually, especially because Mind Crush is a trap card, and people don't play trap cards anymore. Really.
Yeah,
it's a really useful card for a lot of things. So they came out with this ruling now, to where unless the card specifically says that you get to look at your opponent's hand, unless if you're the opponent and you're activating a card that requires you to do something like that, unless your card says your opponent has to reveal their hand, they don't have to reveal their hand. So, what that now means is that you activate Mind Crush, you call a card, and unless they've searched it, they can just say, no, don't have it. And okay, maybe they go to the draw phase. Did they draw that card? Let's say they activate next turn. Did they just draw it? You know what the worst part is? You can't call a judge.
What?
You cannot.
That's ridiculous.
Unless you have reasonable suspicion, and activating Mind Crush is not reasonable suspicion, or them activating the card is not reasonable suspicion. You cannot call a judge to verify their hand.
It's like some cheating on goldfish.
Right?
I don't understand that, because not being able to call a judge, you have no way of knowing if you're getting your card's value or not.
Yeah,
it's like
and then
dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Even worse, there's another card, Lullaby of Obedience. Let me read the exact card again, because I'm not too familiar with that card. I just know it does some cool shit.
I just know this card is ass.
No, it does cool shit. It's actually, I think it's from the anime too. Kaiba used it, I believe.
Is Kaiba still in the anime?
He's referenced, but he's not in the anime. See here, pay 2,000 life points and declare one monster card name. You ready for this shit?
Yep.
Your opponent looks at their deck, reveals one of the declared monsters if there is any, and then chooses one of these effects to apply. I'm not going to read that because that doesn't matter. What that says is pay 2,000 life points, your opponent says no.
Alright, I guess. No, fuck you. I don't have it.
Of course.
You're playing Thunder Dragons.
Yes.
No, don't have them.
Of course. Of course, if they then activate it later, okay, that's suspicion enough to be like, judge, what the fuck? Well, actually, no. Because they could have all copies in their hand. It says look at their deck.
True.
It's kind of iffy at that point, but...
How did you play out? You had all 4 copies in your hand? Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the... Who decided this was a good roll?
Konami.
That explains everything. We don't play test the game. It's like Wizards saying, we're not going to ban cards based on the fun factor, and then when they lose money on a stream, alright, we're banning this because of the fun factor, guys. Definitely not monetary at all. It's definitely the fun factor.
Oh, I guess one good thing to come of these new rule changes, also kind of controversial.
Controversial.
I need some drink or something. You can get disqualified for not showering.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's. I don't mind that, because seriously, dude, have you ever been to
I have not had that displeasure.
So I went to a card shop in Billings. The card shop was nice, and I sat down for a pre-release for Core 19, and holy dear God, the guy sitting across from me, I don't think he knew what water was. I don't think he'd been introduced to water yet, and I'm one of those guys that personal hygiene I mean, I'm a long-haired, hippie-looking dude. I don't look like I'm the cleanest person around. But I shower daily. I put deodorant on twice a day.
Yeah.
I mean, I take care of myself to an extent where other human beings aren't completely like disgusted by hanging around me.
People actually want to hang around you.
Yeah. So, but like, there's been a couple people that I've hung out with. I'm not going to say any names where I've had to be like, "Hey, man, you kind of reek a little bit." Like, and it's not like I'm trying to be mean to you. It's like, hey, dude, like,
wash your ass.
Wash your ass. I mean, some people get used to it.
I'm gonna have to show you that video. There's a YouTube channel, Team APS. One member on there, Trell. He's actually made like 2 videos now, but that's kind of become his catchphrase. Wash your ass.
Wash your ass.
That was before this rule change came in, and then afterwards they released like kind of like a comedy sketch. Yu-Gi-Oh! Enter the shower realm. I'm gonna have to show you. I think I'll get a kick out of it.
That sounds great. But I mean, for real though, that to me, how is that controversial? Because everybody should be like, you're going in a room, more than likely a hot room with a bunch of other grown ass men / teenagers.
I mean, I mean, I don't mean it's controversial in that people hate it. People love it.
Like, thank God.
Yeah.
It's just probably controversial because they have to actually put that in the rules. Like, hey, dude, I actually saw something about that before too.
Wash your ass.
Dude, wash that ass or don't come back. But yeah, this guy, like, I went like store that I went to in Billings, dude. Like, I almost had to concede because I could not hardly bear it. It was so bad. And the guy that played him after I did concede and walk away. And then the store, like, he went and talked to the store owner, and the store owner finally came over and said, "Hey, I'm going to have you drop because you stink. You need to go home." So they made the guy drop.
You need to go battle that shower. That's what you need to do.
All right, you need to planeswalk yourself into the plane of water, whichever one that is. The Aquarius plane.
Plane of soap. Not just water.
Yeah, that's... Did they put on there what, like if they did that, like, constitutionally, like, with a law, they'd have to, like, put into detail what a shower is?
Yeah.
Do the rules, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules say, like, what a shower is? Like, you must stand under the water for 30 minutes. You must use Tresemme shampoo.
No, the way they put it is, essentially, if enough people, or, like, a judge or something, one of the people organizing, or, like, enough players, are complaining about your body odor, and then someone comes and verifies, yes, that is your body odor, kicked out.
So some poor guy's job is to go around and sniff sweaty people.
Like, I mean, well, okay.
You smell like ass.
You'll probably, if it's that bad, you'll probably smell them when they get up to the counter to register. So you'll probably get kicked out then. But
hold on 1 second, we gotta have John come verify.
Sniff test.
Oh God. Yep, he's right.
I lost 8,000 life points with that sniff.
Oh my God. Why are nerds so disgusting?
The best rule to come from that, though. The best one. It's almost worth it to have the other rule implemented.
Which is?
Your opponent doesn't have to reveal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a solid trade-off. Kind of. Not really, but kind of, I guess. Like, still, though, like, why show up smelling like butthole all the time? I don't understand. Like, that's not, I mean, I understand that people get accustomed to their own scent, but, like, if I start to smell ripe, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I need a shower. But, like, some of these people, man. I mean, even, like, me and my wife were talking today. We went down to the card shop in Minot the other day. She's like, every time we go in there, it smells like butthole. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't smell it. But she's not been around like the card game scene and all that stuff. So, like, you, even as just a person who, like, partakes in the games and stuff, you kind of get accustomed to it. Yeah. To an extent, like, even other people's sweaty assholes. So, I mean, yeah. But at the same time, that's trading like something outside the game for something inside the game, which I don't feel like is totally fair.
It's not equal, But, I mean,
But there's no butt smell.
yeah. I guess the saving grace is that hopefully they print more cards with your opponent reveals their hand
Yeah.
in the future. And there is the ruling that if, like, say you have a card that says shuffle Moray agreed. Shuffle 2 water monsters from your hand into the deck, drop your cards. That's a 0, so it's not broken. You do have to reveal those water monsters because it is a card you are activating that affects you.
Okay.
That's how that got ruled. So that's it's not that bad. And to be fair, Lullaby of Obedience is only played in like the mirror match. And Lullaby also hold on. Let me actually read you Lullaby's effects that I skipped over. The declared monster is added to the hand of the player who activated this card, or the player who activated this card special summons the declared monster to their field in attack position, ignoring its summoning conditions. Pretty nice, actually.
Yeah.
Really cool in a mirror match, because you're almost playing the same deck. So, in the event that you do activate Lullaby, and your opponent then activates the card that you declared, get out. Because,
Yeah.
they could have it all in their hand, but, not likely. And then Mind Crush isn't, even before the rule, it wasn't played that much.
Right.
Just like some fringe decks that mainly use traps anyway. It's not that big of a blow. But, it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, Mind Crush went from, like, playable every time to why bother?
Yeah.
I, for one, am really sad to see it go.